I find myself talking so much. Like I ramble, and I feel like these sections are going to be like 5 times longer than they actually need to be.
Hi there. About 6 months ago, I made a video called I Tried to Replace My iPhone's Mic, where basically, if you hear the little slow, like low rolling sound in this video, my camera or my phone's front facing camera microphone is a bit messed up. The audio has like a low roll to it for some reason, and I am too cheap to go to the Apple store and have them replace it for me. When I was offered the opportunity to review this no-name lav mic, basically getting the purchase comped for me, I was like, why not? It would be a good opportunity to kind of potentially two birds, one stone it, get something that I could use in the vlogs I film and other content I do from my phone without needing to like heavily invest, and I could make a fun little review video alongside it. So I ended that video by basically saying you get what you pay for with these things. They are $30. They sound like they're $30. But if you are looking to try out lav mics, especially if you film from your phone mostly, and you don't want to invest the money it takes to get a really nice lav mic, it's a low budget way to try it out and see if it's for you. It's passable, it's just not good. That was 6 months ago, and I have recently acquired these. This is the Hollyland Lark Lark M2S. So it is their newest design. And something I also learned was that another version of this, the M2, is actually what this thing was copying. So it's kind of interesting to find out that they were basically using the Hollyland Lark M2 as inspiration for their no-name cheapo, and I eventually upgraded to the newest version of that microphone. So that's kind of cool. This is not going to be a review of the M2S. This is more so going to be a features and quality comparison. I might do a review on this later down the line, but I would want to do some more work with it first before I do that.
So we're kicking it off with this bad boy. Just for the sake of showing it off, I have it like in front of me, about 6 inches off me. This is not how you're supposed to be using these most of the time. You're supposed to have it kind of like clipped around here or on your collar line or something like that. I am holding it in those positions so that way, just for this demo example, you can hear what that's supposed to sound like. Some people also put it on the brim of their hats, which is partially why I decided to wear a hat for this video, so that way I can show that off. It's becoming a very increasingly popular trend in social media content, especially for shorts. So I figure it would be good to kind of cover all of our bases as far as quality goes. The green light is center here, but there's also spots adjacent and underneath it, all that have their own different voice settings. So basically, you start off and background removal is on by default. Personally, in my testing, it was a pretty decent background remover. It didn't really impact the quality of the audio, so having that as the default is pretty nice. I will give them credit for that. It is not bad. If we turn it over, you'll see a yellow button right there. So that is going to cycle between all of them. So we're going to start with the default background noise removal on. If we do it one more time, it takes that off. It's hard to see here, but it now is a microphone icon. Then underneath that, it mutes it. So then we get into this weird gimmicky like reverb setting. And now we're back to voice isolation. One of my personal gripes is that if you're in a loud environment, like if you're going to be talking like pretty loud, or if you're in an outdoor environment where you kind of have to talk over people, the volume is just there's a clear dip in audio quality, and it's not good. So if you're like level, like if you're like calmly talking like I am right now, you're probably fine. But if you're in environments beyond that, you're gonna pretty dramatically notice that the audio is not great. It's a magnetic backing, so you can clip it anywhere on clothes that you want. You're not resorting, like you don't have to use a clip. It did also come with a backed clip, so now I can just clip it onto whatever I want, which great for hats. I don't think that the magnet backing is going to be great for a rounded brimmed hat or similar things like that. So I do appreciate that they had both of those included. Whereas with the M2S, for example, it is only a clip and the M2 is only the magnet backing. So they kind of gave you the best of both worlds with that, which does give credence to why some people might want to use something like this to figure out what they like, because you can use both backings and then decide, well, when I want to eventually up my quality, which one do I want to go for? So now I have it on the brim of my hat. I feel a little ridiculous, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how like content creators do this all the time in their content and not have it just kind of like bug them a little bit. It's like right in the peripheral. I mean, that's probably just a me thing though. But this is the audio that you're going to be getting with it just like clamped onto your hat. So now it is on my collar. This is how most lavalier mics are mounted in a traditional sense. It's like on your collar or on a tie or like on like in between buttons on a buttoned up shirt if you're depending on what you're wearing. But this is frequently the area that you get laved up for. I find myself talking so much. Like I ramble and I feel like these sections are going to be like 5 times longer than they actually need to be. But anyways, I feel like we've given you a lot of audio quality for this microphone. So let's switch over to the Hollyland and see how things go from there. And here is the Lark M2S. So I'm going to go through the same positionings of kind of 6 inches in front of me on the hat, on the collar, so that way we get as much of a direct one-to-one as far as the audio quality as we can. Let's start the ramble session a little bit. First thing that I've noticed that I really like is that the receiver can be plugged in with my phone case still on. It's such a small thing for me, and it might just be a like iPhone 13 Pro sort of problem to have. Maybe other phones aren't experiencing this issue, but for me, I really like that. Dealing with this bad boy not fitting in, knowing that this one does is awesome. And I have a second one because the version I got comes with both a Lightning and a USB receiver. My phone's a 13, so it's a Lightning. Now let's go ahead and put this on the hat. So apologies in advance for any noises that this might be creating. Okay, so now we've got it mounted to the hat. It's a lot. It's clearly there, but because the microphone itself is so low profile in comparison, it's less obstructive in my peripherals. It's still clearly there. Like I know it's there, but it feels less obstructive because of how small the actual portion of it is that I'm able to see on the lower side of the brim. That is totally subjective. Like, just, I am not saying like one way or the other that's like a plus or a minus. For me, that is subjectively a plus because that means I don't have to deal with it bugging me as much if I do decide to record like this in the future, which I do I get the appeal because I can just wear the hat and it doesn't matter what I'm doing here. So if it's picking up my voice well enough, then I totally get why content creators will do this. Oh, the loud noises. This is how the Lark M2S deals with a louder microphone, louder volumes. This did not handle loud volume well. So how does this sound? I'm not hearing it back right now, but how does that sound? Is that better? Did it handle it well? Was it still peaking? If I was yelling? Or is it actually a champ? So now we've got it on the collar. This is around the same place the clip-on one was at before. Oh, Ollie. All right, hold on. Buddy. Sir, I'm gonna put you down now, okay? Onto the floor. But yeah, this is how it sounds on my collar. This would probably be a very similar sound to how it's going to be if you put it on a tie or on a on a button-up shirt in between buttons or something like that. Ollie is really trying to get in the shot here. Dude, what are we doing? What are we doing, bud? I think my yelling might have woken him up, and he's like, "Oh, Dad's home. Let's have fun, buddy. You're right on the microphone." Ugh. Onto the chair over there. Okay, we're gonna wrap this part up because Ollie very clearly wants some love and wants some attention. So we're gonna have to give it to him in a second. But this is what you're going to be getting as far as like how it sounds, not directly in front of you, not directly over you, but like on your collar. Similar to the other microphone, the M2S has a noise cancellation feature. It is turned on by just pressing this button here, and the blue light on the back that indicates that this is on and paired will then turn green, notifying that that feature is turned on. You can also see that the blue light, I mean, you can't personally see it right now, but the blue light indicator on the receiver will also turn green. And there's a button similar to this on the receiver. So you can press it to turn it off like I just did, and it's back to blue. And if I press it from the receiver again, that is now green. So either end of this can turn on and turn off that feature. That might be a pro to you, that might be a con to you, because maybe you want to do it from the camera side, but you don't want someone to accidentally bump it and turn it off after the fact. That's totally up to you on if that's a good or bad feature. Also, Ollie is on my lap now. He's purring away. Let's see, can you hear his purrs? Because it's on right now. Well, he's got thoughts. And now let's turn it off. Hey, buddy. Can you, how well can we hear him? Honestly, Ollie might be the best noise cancellation tester we got, because he's a chirpy boy. Good job, bud. You're part of the video now. Ollie is now officially part of the testing crew here. So let's take a look at the cases now. This is currently on Amazon for about $32. This is currently on Amazon for about $115. Now, you can get different versions of this for less money that has less connectivity options. This one, you are restricted to choosing, do you want the Lightning adapter or the USB-C adapter? Starting off with the cheapo one, you get the charging case, you get the 2 transmitters, you get the magnetic and the clip backings, and you get a single receiver. This version of the M2S that I got came with a USB-C receiver, a Lightning receiver, and a camera receiver with the appropriate cable. So that way, if you wanted to do this from your phone, you can use this with your phone. If you wanted to use this with a different device, like a mirrorless or DSLR camera, you can do that as well. It also comes with 2 fuzzy windscreens, and of course the transmitters. Now, this doesn't have separate backings like this version does, but if you want a clip backing, you can get the M2S. If you want a magnetic backing, you can get the M2. I also want to point out that both receivers here actually allow pass-through charging for their devices. The interesting thing is, where this is the Lightning adapter, it is a Lightning pass-through, whereas for the Hollyland, for the USB-C and Lightning, it's both a USB-C pass-through, no matter which connector is actually in the top of it. So that's kind of interesting. It could go to pairing with the USB-C cable that comes with this, so it's like you're using that cable no matter which one of these you're using. Interesting take on it, where this one is matching the connector to the connector. I think it's pretty clear that throughout this video, using the Lark M2S and this M2 knockoff, that the M2S is the winner as far as quality goes. You are both getting more audio quality, like better audio that's being captured. It handles loud noises incredibly well. And you're getting so much more for the money. You're getting a receiver with a Lightning adapter. You're getting a receiver with a USB-C adapter. You're getting a receiver for cameras. You are getting windscreens for them. You may not have interchangeable mounting accessories, but that's about the only thing that this has that this doesn't have or do better. Personally, I think it's clear that this is worth the money unless you are truly unable to spend more than like $40. If that is the case, and you are desperately trying to find something to have lav mic content, this will work, but it's never going to be a recommendation of mine if something like this is within budget. If you can get something like this, there is no reason not to in my mind. So that is going to be where we wrap up for today. I have rambled so much. I know looking at the footage, we are already sitting at like 35 minutes of video that I have to comb through. Hopefully I'm able to get it down a fair bit without any interjections from editing Alex, but that is where we're at. I am very much a fan of this microphone. I'm going to be using it in content moving forward. I might even be doing the hat thing. Who knows? I liked that more than on my collar. I think if I could put it lower, like maybe on a string here or like on a button-up shirt or tie or something, that could change. But on my collar right underneath my chin, it's a little muffled and I'm not as big of a fan of it. Honestly, right in front of me worked the best, but I like this idea as well. I have rambled so much throughout this video, so we are going to just cut it here. See you later.